He will go. It's going to be, I tell you what even punch it's going to be. I'll even give my game plan away. It'll be a check left hook straight to the temple. His legs will go and he'll fall on his face. He may get back up and then I'll knock him out with the overhand right. Good night.
Okay.
Enough said.
Okay. I think he stops you in 9 rounds.
Let's see.
This is what makes it so exciting, right?
What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. Your boy the YB posting you man, keeping you man in the loop with this exclusive leaked video clip right here. One of my sleeper cell dons within Eddie Hearn's camp gave me the drop on this video, and no one got this video at this point in time. That's what we do know. Anyway, let's get to it then. Tyson Fury comes in hot. Gassed as you like. Now listen, I got some videos coming tomorrow, and I'm not sure this fight's going to happen anyway. But like I told you man the other day, if it's happening, we will know by Monday. By Tuesday, 12 AM in the morning. By Tuesday, 5 AM, we're going to know what's going on. Tuesday night, Monday midnight is when we're going to know if this fight's happening, no doubt. Until right now, like I said, I've got videos coming tomorrow. I don't think it's going to happen, but listen, if it's happening, this video, this analysis, we're going to analyse it on the basis the fight is going to happen. Now, Tyson Fury giving it the big one, I don't think it's a good look myself. In terms of the probability of the fight happening, I just think he's too excited. I don't think it's a coincidence yet that my man, for the last 6 months, my man, all he's been talking about is, oh, Anthony Joshua, oh, I'm too tired, oh, I need a rest, oh, and even in the last few days, oh, Fury, tell us about AJ, oh well, oh, speak to my manager, oh, Anthony Joshua, oh, I'm fighting Deontay Wilder, he's gonna get it, oh, it could be anyone, oh, that's what he says, 100%. You heard the recording there. Whenever AJ comes up, oh, talk to my manager, and I've never heard someone so goofy in my life. Are you fighting him or not? That's all people want to know. Oh, you know, I'm not involved in this, I don't want to be legally liable, and giving it all that. But then, ask him about anything else. Ask him about fighting two bums. Ask him about fighting Deontay Wilder. Oh, Deontay Wilder, I'm in his head. Oh, I've got his head in my hand. Oh, he's mentally broken. Oh, his head's in my hand. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's just a bit odd to me. Whenever AJ comes up, he can't put a front on. Unless it's really blatant, like for example, this video clip you just seen, that clandestine sleeper cell video leak. That's a leaked video the YB just showed you man at the start of this video. Apart from when it's obvious, like he's in some confrontational situation, he can put on a front then, he can lie. But in the main, every time there's a genuine AJ question, he's never answered it straight. Never answered it straight. Obviously Eddie Hearn's there, now he's got the confidence, now he knows it's all a joke. Obviously, in my opinion, this Fury and Eddie Hearn exchange, it's obviously a joke. That's why he's treating it as such. I don't think he believes what he's saying. But like I said, let's assume for a second he does believe what he's saying. Let's assume for a second he's going to do this fight. Tyson Fury said, I'm going to read it out word for word. He said, oh, Anthony Joshua, he'll go. Oh, check left hook to the temple. His legs will go and he'll fall flat on his face. Oh, he may get up, but then my overhand right will put him out. Good night. So you heard the recording now, replayed it for you man, played the audio for you man again. AJ will go, it'll be a check left hook to the temple, his legs will go and he'll fall flat on his face, Nate Robinson style. Or Dillian White style. No, Dillian White didn't go, no, that's Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson White style. He may get up, but then an overhand right. Listen, all this talk here, all I know is this, all this talk, Fury's seen a video. Fury's seen a video of his genetic lineage being chinned stiff by the black skeleton looking ass. Black skeleton looking ass chinned him. Put him spark out. Put his lineage. Let's not forget, your dad here is meant to be, I'm not being horrible now, because this obviously is going to be hard to hear for Fury, but your dad's meant to be the, isn't it? When everyone looks at their dad as the man, don't they? Your dad's meant to be that solid don you can always rely on. Listen, Fury, you can't rely on John Fury. Or, in fact, the only thing you can rely on is that he'll get chinned. That's all we can rely on him for. I'm not being horrible, I'm just calling a spade a spade. The only thing John Fury's reliable is to get chinned by the black skeleton looking ass. Deontay Wilder's dad. 100%. That there was Deontay Wilder's dad. If you didn't know, Deontay Wilder's mum laid with Akinfenwa, whatever his name is, black skeleton looking ass. That's who he laid with, 100%. That's Deontay Wilder's dad. Deontay Wilder's dad knocked John Fury spark out with, I was about to say a quarter of a shot. It wasn't even a quarter of a shot. It was probably about a hundredth of a shot, genuinely. He was stumbling back, he was squared up, he wasn't even really throwing it. And nonetheless, he put your man Sparko, had your man laying on the floor, nutting all over himself. With abdominal cramps. Yeah? Black Skeletor hit him so hard, he gave your dad period pains. No doubt. He was all cramping in there. Giving it all the cramp. No doubt. So on that basis, if no one believes it, you've seen the video, and that's why I think Fury's reacting now. That's why you see Fury talking big game now. He's trying to. This is almost like. Have you ever heard of it, like PR teams or marketing teams or advertisement teams? Sorry, PR teams. When someone's managing their public image, if there's been a red hot video leaked, like the John Fury video leaked, you'll be told by your team, let's create some noise in other aspect. And I reckon that's why Tyson Fury flew out. Tyson Fury weren't going to go no. He weren't going to go to Texas. He weren't planning on going to Texas. But the video dropped of John Fury being laid spark out, and he thought, oh wow, I best go to Billy Joe and kick up a fuss. To be honest, I'm hearing that Billy Joe wasn't even planning on moaning about the ring size, but it was Tyson Fury's idea to get some. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want the heat on him. He was trying to get the heat off his dad. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Tyson Fury flew out. He was advised by his PR team to fly out to Texas and convince Billy Ho he needed a 24-foot ring. And in doing so, it took. Cause let's not forget, them videos leaked. I just got off the blurb to my man. I just got off the blurb to my man, Julian Assange, with the links from WikiLeaks. Sent me the link to the John Fury tape. And ever since, Fury been in damage limitation mode. He was like, oh. He knew he needed something to get the attention off of his dad being laid spark out by the black skeleton looking ass. No doubt. So he flew to Texas, begged Billy. Oh, Billy! Oh, please, Billy! 24-foot Billy! Oh, you heard the recording there. Begged him to kick up a fuss. Begged him to kick up a fuss for the 24-foot ring, yeah? And obviously, history is history. That's how it's played out since. And since, luckily for him, it's fair play to him. I applaud Fury's PR team because they've done a pretty good job. The attention for the main has been on Billy Ho. But the facts are the facts. You can listen. You can do all the PR you want. You can do all the flying out to Texas and kicking up a fuss you want. The facts are you're chinless. The facts are your genetic lineage is flawed in the chin department. You've got a nano wafer chin. Yeah? You've got a patented, you're the first man to have a nano chin. No doubt. On that basis, you can sit there and talk about check left hook and his legs will go and he'll fall on his face. You know it ain't real. And that's why, like I said, that's why I'm not confident. He don't believe what he's saying. He don't believe it. Because that's another thing. He hasn't got any power. Like, who are you kidding? Check left hook. When has Fury ever check left hook someone? Ever, look, anyone. Never mind AJ, who, statistically speaking, has the best chin in the heavyweight division. Vladimir Klitschko hit him with the... Go back and watch it. Don't listen to me. People say, oh, YB, you're having a laugh. Oh, YB. YB thinks it's well funny. YB says AJ's got the best chin. Go and watch the Klitschko fight. Klitschko hit him with the snarliest right hand I've ever seen. Genuinely. And if you disagree, show me someone taking a better right hand. If you disagree, to show me it. Klitschko leaning over his fleet foot, turned it right over, his knuckles dug on right on AJ's clat. Worst case scenario, AJ sat there and started smiling, got straight back up. You didn't see AJ on the floor with period pains, with abdominal clenching. Yeah? You didn't see AJ looking down at his toes because his neck was all cramped up and he didn't have the neuromuscular control to stand up properly. That's what the black Skeletor looking ass hit John Fury and left him there looking at his toes, all cramped up because he couldn't move. All he could do is clench his big muscles. He lost all coordination. All of it was gone. All he could do is just sit there like a victim. A passenger sitting there looking at his toes, clenching as well. To be fair, his toes were scratching the canvas. Yeah? They was gurning on the canvas. That's all he could do. That's what we do know. I've never, listen, no matter what no one says, oh, AJ's chinless. Show me a video. All I want to see is a video of AJ doing the same things I've seen Fury and all of his, in fact, not just Fury, all the Furies. I've seen all the Furies clenched up. I've seen them all hit by cruiserweights and been clenched up. Black Skeletor, he was skinny. He weren't no banger. He's skinny as you like. And didn't even hit him properly. Nonetheless, he left your main mans, left your pa, all clenched up. So on that basis, I don't believe it. And that's another thing. Your dad got 7% KO ratio, which in reality is 0%. Your dad's only ever KO'd one person in his whole career. And you, I'm trying to think. Show me one example of Fury one-banging anyone. Because that's what he's saying here. He's saying, I'm going to check left hook him. That's a one-bang. He says, I'm going to overhand right him. That's a one-bang. So there must be evidence of this. Because when I saw you in there with Wilder, who himself is chinless, another one who's got flawed genetics. It's funny, people were saying to me, oh, YB, you're being RACIST against Fury. No, Wilder's chinless as well. People really don't get it with me. People think I've got an agenda. Oh, if you're chinless, you're chinless. Wilder has the same flawed genetics as Fury. Evidence? Look at Marcellus Wilder. Marcellus Wilder in there with some necks bummed on, chipped his Eritrean pointy chin, and he went similar to John Fury, actually. He was another one looking at his toes, just clenched up. And he tried to stand up. He was, honestly, yeah, out of everyone I've seen be stiff, he was literally stiff. He couldn't move his arm. His arm was locked to his side. He tried standing up and then fell on his face. I've never seen anything like it. That's one of the worst ones I've ever seen. And again, he wasn't really hit hard. I think, was it left hook or a right hook? Either way. Just chipped his pointy Eritrean chin. And that was that. He was stiff. He was stiff as you like. And if I was a woman, yeah, I'm not even a woman, but he was that stiff. I started getting aroused by it. It was really quite weird. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna admit it as a man. I'm gonna admit it, sorry, as a man. I saw Marcellus Wilder. He was chipped so stiffly. I started getting semi-aroused. I thought, what is this? You know what I'm saying? The female inside of me started becoming aroused. Because he was stiff. He was super stiff. He was so stiff, yeah. He half got up. And then he stiffened up even more. And he flopped on his face. Do you know how stiff you got to be not to be able to extend your arm out? A human's body will never allow it to fall on its face. Naturally, anytime someone falls, your automatic protection will be for the face. Nonetheless, Marcellus Wilder was stiff, and he flopped straight onto his face, straight onto his pointy chin. Yeah. So let's not make this about. Let's not get political about this. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm calling it as I see it. Fury, Wilder are chinless. Wilder, despite being chinless, Fury was teeing off on him as well. Teeing off, with or without something in the gloves, slapping him around. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't put him out. We know Wilder can go spark out. We've seen it. We've seen his genetic lineage go spark out with one bang. Funnily enough, I think his name was something Long. Yeah, the Don who put Wilder's brother out was called Long. Long chipped Wilder's brother and laid him spark out with one bang. You ain't never done that to Wilder. Wilder was eating your bang all night. And yes, Wilder flopped to the floor, but that's not. Wilder was similar actually to AJ in that respect. You didn't have the power, you didn't have the snap to lay him out properly. Which means, and again, it wasn't a case of, well, you hit Wilder once and he went down. No, you hit him about 30 times and then he just about went down. And by the way, there was nothing coming back. So what are we doing here? The Wilder proof is, and many Fury fans get confused and they say, well, look at the Wilder fight, the second one, that proves that Fury's got power. No, that proves Fury don't have power. Because anyone with a lick of power, Wilder would have been laid spark out. Same as Andy Ruiz, to be fair. If Andy Ruiz had any power, and I said this at the time, if Andy Ruiz had any power, AJ would have been spark out in the first fight. Simple as that. He wasn't. He doesn't. So Fury, you got no chin. Fury, you got no power. Fury, you ain't gonna one bang no one. And the evidence is you've never one bang no one. That's just the evidence. So on that basis, and this is the thing, I'm sure quite a lot of AJ fans are hearing me speak now, and and they're happy to hear what I'm saying, but the next 5 minutes, you man ain't going to be so happy to hear this part. Because over the last few days and weeks, I've been seeing things which haven't been inspiring me as it pertains to AJ. And on that basis, I'm not going to, before in the past year, I've allowed things to carry on, and I haven't called it out. But from now on, I'm calling it out, because someone's got to. Now, as much as, and also the reason I'm calling it out is because I know how great AJ can be. So on that basis, we can sit here and we can talk about and we can analyse and we can prove statistically and empirically how flawed Fury's chin is and how flawed Fury's genetic lineage is. In the power department and in the chin department. However, when that becomes a fact we all know and recognise, it then becomes imperative. And not only imperative, it becomes, what's the word I'm looking for? It becomes, Anthony Joshua is, I'm trying to think of a word stronger than obliged. At the end of the day, he must go in there and expose what we've proven. The paper, what the stats and numbers prove. The stats and numbers prove Fury has no chin. Fury's genetic line has no chin. Fury's genetic line has no power. Fury has no power. So when we know that, we can sit here and laugh and giggle. But let me tell you this now, there'll be nothing to laugh and giggle about if AJ goes in there and goes 12 rounds with him. And or, God forbid, loses to him. Or goes 12 rounds and it's 50-50 because AJ's decided to go in there and box with him. This is the thing that gets me the most, and this is why I'm calling it out, because many AJ fans think it's the right thing to do. Oh yeah, no, he needs to go in there, he needs to do what he did against Pulev and box and jab and dance around and score and... No, he don't. He needs to go in there and be the first man. That's how far this fight goes. The first time AJ clips Fury's chin, he's going spark out. That's my opinion. That's what I believe. Now, to be fair to Fury, his defense is alright. He knows how to tuck up. And that's normally how things go. A lot of the reason why AJ's defense is a little sloppy is because when you're coming up in the game, when you've been the hammer, when you've got genetic advantages of extreme power and extreme speed, you get away a lot with just, you know what I'm saying, no one can really survive the onslaught, so you don't really need to worry about defense. And that's why people like Fury, like Huey Fury, you'll notice their defense is tight. Do you know why? Because they have to have it tight. Because they can't rely on their natural abilities. They have to have their defense on point. If they didn't, they wouldn't be where they are. Does that make sense? Because if Fury's defense wasn't on point, he'd be getting knocked spark out every time. Look at John Fury. John Fury, if you actually watched the fight until he got knocked spark out, he was in there slipping, sliding with defense. And even then, got knocked spark out. So, that just shows you how vulnerable they are. And that's why Fury's defense has to be so sublime. Many people rate Fury's got amazing defense, giving him the ratings as if he's done that on his own. No, he's been forced to do that, because if he didn't have amazing defense, I'm trying to think who wouldn't have put him out. I mean, look at what earlier this week I watched Chisora versus Fury. Chisora had him on Queer Street. Whoops. Chisora had him on QUEER Street. Had him hitting that nene. And that was Chisora, someone who he ain't really a banger, and he's all right, but he ain't to the level of AJ, that's for sure. There's levels to this game, and Chisora's an E-level fighter. AJ's an A-star fighter. That's just what it is. And on that basis, when you're an A-star fighter, there's certain things that must happen. And when you're going in there with someone who is flawed in the chin department and flawed in the power department, there are no excuses for this fight to go 12 rounds. That's just the bottom line for me. And it really should be a highlight reel KO. That's my opinion. This shouldn't be a TKO where Fury gets stopped standing up. This should be AJ and his team, yeah. If I was training AJ, we'd be training him to put certain combinations together, and then the finishing shot would be to chip his whiskers and knock him sparko. That's what I'll be doing right now. I'll be working out combinations, because Fury's style of the low lead hand, or every style, there's certain things you can do to open up certain shots. That's how you have to approach this game. All right, we're gonna put 5 shots together, and the finishing shot is gonna expose his pointy chin for us. That's how they should be thinking. Are they doing that? I don't think so. But either way, that's what should be happening right now. They should be working out 10 different combos they're going to set up to stick on Fury and expose his whiskers. So that we can get... This is what I'm saying. AJ's camp should be based around... This is going to be a highlight reel meme KO. This is going to be the finest KO of my career. Why? Because arguably Fury has the worst chin in AJ's career. Who's got a worse chin than Fury? Name me someone. There's very few people I can think of who's got a worse chin than Fury does. Especially when you look at the hereditary nature of it as well. Fury, put out by a 200-pound soaking wet Cunningham. Fury, put out by a 200-pound soaking wet Wilder. Fury's dad, put out by a Deontay Wilder's dad, black skeletal looking ass. So there's all these examples of how it's flawed. On that basis, that's how the camp should be based around. I'm seeing training footage of AJ, and it's looking like they're training to go 12 rounds and go 50-50 with Fury. I'm not seeing no finesse in there. I'm seeing the same standard stuff offensively, and then I'm seeing a whole load of dancing around and defense stuff. What for? There's a chin there that needs to be touched. Begging, crying out to be touched. And that's the long and the short of it. Now, just before I go, Fury talking about the check left hook and the right hand. Listen, like I have to explain to you, man, throughout this video, AJ categorically has the best chin in the heavyweight division. For a minute, I thought Ruiz was up there. No, he's not. Ruiz is no good. AJ's got the best chin in the division. And on that basis, Fury ain't never going to one-punch AJ, no way. And even 10 punches. And I actually said to you, man, long before this week, I said to you, man, I believe Fury's can give I believe AJ can give Fury a free best shot, and it wouldn't do anything. Would it wobble him? Possibly, but I'm saying it wouldn't put him down. That's my belief. I believe if AJ went in there with his hands by his waist and just walked forward and marched forward and Fury hit him with something, I don't believe it'd knock him out. I don't believe it'd put him down. I believe it would bounce off. Because guess what? AJ went in there with Ruiz. Ruiz threw a right hook. It bounced off the side of AJ's head, and AJ looked at him like as if to say, "What was that?" Didn't even notice it. And I believe a similar thing will happen with Fury. I believe even though Ruiz is feather-fisted, Fury is even more feather-fisted. That's my belief. And I not only believe this is what's backed up with statistics. However, again, it's all well and good me explaining this and breaking down the numbers. AJ's the only one who can act on it. How do you act on it? How do you act on this information? Well, if you know you've got a chin better than Fury's, you've got no excuse to take a back step. What for? AJ's philosophy should be, any shot Fury gives me, I'm giving it straight back. And in fact, that's based on being second. AJ's philosophy should be, I'm going to be first. Every time I'm going first. Why? Because why not? This isn't a fight he needs to negotiate. He needs to be tactical about. And I said it before, I'll say it again. There isn't anyone in the heavyweight division today where AJ needs to be negotiating around, being careful and whatnot. All I see from his perspective is a whole load of soft, supple booty holes. And no doubt,